Hello and welcome to 15 Minutes of English. My name is Laurie. I'm an online English teacher, and in today's episode, we are going to have a look at questions. In yesterday's episode, we looked at how to introduce ourselves and say a little bit about ourselves. And in today's episode, we're going to go a little bit further and see how to make some follow-up questions. Some of those second questions where you ask one question and you want to ask another question for some more information. So let's have a look. One thing that we should think about when making questions in English is that the word order changes between questions and statements. So this is a very common mistake that lots of people make when they are learning English, is that they mix up the order for questions and the order for statements when they speak. So to practice this, let's have a look at the following questions and check the word order. Now, the first one here, can you play a musical instrument? Before we get started, I might just say, if you are studying along, I would recommend that you pause the video, write down your answers, and then we can go through the answers together. Okay. The first one then, can you play a musical instrument? Does that sound correct or incorrect? It is correct. Can you play a musical instrument? The second one, where works your father? Where works your father? This one is incorrect. It should be, where does your father work? We need the verb at the end there. Where does your father work? Were you at this school last year? Were you at this school last year? This one is correct. Is there a supermarket near here? Is there a supermarket near here? This one is correct. Have you cereal for breakfast? Now, does that one sound correct? It shouldn't, because it is incorrect. It should be, do you have cereal for breakfast? Now, in my last video, the video from yesterday, we talked about how in most questions to do with the present simple, those are things that are true generally in our lives, we need to use the present simple, and for those questions we usually use an auxiliary verb, right? So in the question, have you cereal for breakfast, there is no auxiliary verb, so we know that it is probably not going to be correct. So we add the verb in, the auxiliary verb do. Do you have cereal for breakfast? There we go. Then the last question there, where went you for your last holiday? So this is the same, even though it's not the present simple. Where went you for your last holiday? Where did you go for your last holiday? We need an auxiliary verb in there. Where did you go for your last holiday? One thing to notice is that even though this is about the past, the verb go is kept in the present. It is kept in the infinitive. The bit that goes to the past, there's only one bit that goes to the past, and that is the auxiliary verb. So, where did you go for your last holiday? In this next slide, I've got the same questions again, the correct versions of the questions. If you're studying along, I recommend that you pause. You should write your own answers to the questions. And then we can have a look at my questions. You can see if your verb order is correct. And then we can compare what is different. So, can you play a musical instrument? Can you play a musical instrument? My answer is, I can play the guitar a little. I can play the guitar a little. The question, where does your father work? My father works in the bank. Were you at this school last year? No, I was at a different school. Is there a supermarket near here? Yes, there's a supermarket around the corner. Yes, there's a supermarket around the corner. Do you have cereal for breakfast? I don't have cereal because I don't like milk. Where did you go for your last holiday? We went to Georgia. Now, that's true. We did go to Georgia. It was very nice. Now, What is the difference in word order? Can you see the difference between can you play and I can play? What you should be able to see is that the subject, so here in the question is you, and here in the answer is I, is in a different position relative to the verb. So, can you play? Verb first, then the subject, and then the main verb. And here we've got subject, the can, the modal verb, and then the main verb, play. I can play. This one here, where does your father work? So we've got the possessive pronoun, your, father, and work. And then we've got here, my father works, with no auxiliary verb. In the question, we have an auxiliary verb. We got does. In the answer, we don't. In the question, it goes possessive pronoun, subject, verb. And in here, we've got subject, the possessive pronoun, subject, and then verb. Yes. Okay. In this one, were you at this school last year? No, I was at a different school. So, were you, verb, subject. In the answer, I was, subject, verb. Is there a supermarket near here? Is there? In the answer, there is. In this question, do you have? And this one, I don't have. So I do, do you. So the do, and then you, and then I, and do. In the questions that have an auxiliary verb, it is the auxiliary verb that moves in the word order and not the main verb. So in the last one, where did you go for your last holiday? We went to Georgia. We went to Georgia. It's not went we to Georgia. That is very important. Now, let's have a practice in making some secondary questions, some follow-up questions for questions that you might get asked if you are introducing yourself to somebody new. So, do you drink a lot of tea or coffee? Again, I would recommend that you pause the video here and try and fill in the answers. Do you drink a lot of tea or coffee? My answer here is no, not much. No, I don't drink much tea or coffee. The secondary question then, what is going to go in this gap where I've put this black box? How many cups a day? Now, you may well hear native speakers say how many cups a day, or even how many cups, or how many. People shorten the questions so that they don't repeat themselves. But to sound nice and correct and nice and clear, we're going to say the whole sentence. So, how many cups do you drink? You see, do you drink? In the answer, I've put just one or two. But importantly, if I make the whole answer, it would be I drink one or two. I drink one or two. There we go. Do you go to a gym? Yes, I do. Right? You see here in the question is do you, and in the answer is I do. Which gym do you go to? I go to the one near my house. I go to the one near my house. Do you like watching sports? Yes, I do. Which sports do you like to watch? I like to watch cricket. Now, something that you should hopefully be noticing is that there is an easy way to respond to all of these questions that have the do you in it, right? And that is to take the end of the sentence, go to with the verb, right? And just put the I on the beginning, and then you've got your answer. So, which sports do you like to watch? Like to watch, I like to watch cricket. Just put the I at the beginning, and then the thing that you like to watch at the end. That one is a lie. I don't really like to watch cricket. It's a very boring game, in my opinion. But yeah, anyway. Now, in this one, we've got some questions in the past. So again, pause the video, try and fill in the gaps, and let's go through the answers. Did you go to bed late last night? Did you go to bed late last night? No, not very late. That's a quick way of responding to the questions without repeating. If you wanted to be extra clear, you could say, no, I didn't go to bed very late last night. For our secondary question, what time to sleep? Now, what is going to go in here? We need, did you go? What time did you go to sleep? Not, what time went you to sleep? That is not correct. We want, what time did you go to sleep? I went to bed at about 11:30. In our answer, we can say I went to bed. But in the question, we need the auxiliary verb. So it needs to be, what time did you go to sleep? There we go. In the next one then, did you cook lunch or dinner yesterday? Did you cook lunch or dinner yesterday? My answer is yes, I cooked dinner. The follow-up question that someone could ask would be, what did you cook? What did you cook? And my answer here is, I made pasta with tomato sauce. There we go. I could have used the same verb, cook. So I could have said, I cooked pasta with tomato sauce. But with food, the most natural way is to use the verb make. So I made pasta with tomato sauce. This last question here then is, did you buy any clothes this month? Did you buy any clothes last month? My answer here, yes, I bought a few things. So not very many. I bought a few. And then the follow-up question would be, what did you buy? What did you buy? You might notice that when I say these did you questions very quickly, I don't say them very clearly. I don't say, what did you buy? I say, what did you buy? There's a j in there. When the D meets the Y, you say, what did you buy? What did you buy? If you would like to practice speaking faster in English, I would recommend that you practice making those transition sounds between the D and Y. But that's maybe getting ahead of ourselves. What did you buy? I bought myself some new socks and a pair of green trousers. I bought myself some new socks and a pair of green trousers. Okay, there we go. We've got some more questions. These are the last ones. Did you go out at the weekend? Yes, I met up with some friends. There we go. Yes, I met up with some friends. I forgot to say, if you're studying along, then pause the video. But otherwise, let's go through the answers. This next one, where? What are you going to ask as a follow-up question with where? Where did you go? Where did you go? We went to the park and had a little picnic. So in the question, we need to use go. Where did you go? And in the answer, we can use the past simple, we use went. Where we went to the park and had a little picnic. Did you watch anything yesterday? Did you watch anything yesterday? My wife and I watched something on Netflix. So what are you going to ask as a follow-up question for this one? I am going to ask, what did you watch? What did you watch? We watched Scarface. Scarface. I had not watched it before. It was my first time watching Scarface. Now, this is a third question, really. Did you enjoy the film? Did you enjoy the film? My answer to this was, yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And so what could a follow-up question for that be? I mean, there are lots of different options. For mine, extra bonus points if you managed to guess what my question was. But mine was, what was your favorite part? What was your favorite part of the film? And my favorite part of the film was the famous bit where he says, "Say hello to my little friend." Right? It was the very good part of the film. Right. Okay. All that remains for me to say, thank you for sticking with this little lesson. If you are interested in keeping up with your English, then I'll see you back here tomorrow for another 15 minutes of English. Get out there and practice your English questions. If you are dying for some more Laurie content, then I have an Instagram, which you can see on the board, Mr. Laurie English. If you would like to support us or to sign up for any of our classes, then please take a look at our website, precisaclasses.com, or give us an email at our email address down here. You can see at the bottom, director@precisaclasses.com. There we go. Of course, give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.